So let me show you some progress, some things that are good that are happening. After years of political violence, the Trump administration has finally designated Antifa as a domestic terror organization. And I want to show you specifically some of the language used in this designation. It claims that they are a militaristic, anarchist enterprise. It uses illegal means to organize and execute a campaign of violence. This campaign involves coordinated efforts. They recruit, train, and radicalize young Americans. They employ elaborate means and mechanisms to conceal its funding sources and operation. Now, I want to point this out because you've never heard Antifa described this way, at least not from Democrats or anybody in the mainstream media or liberal think tanks. This is what you're used to seeing. Antifa is a decentralized political movement with no central leadership. Show me another one here. Or Antifa. Antifa is a decentralized, leaderless movement. How about this one? A broad and decentralized political movement. Okay, so it's decentralized and leaderless. Did you get that? Okay. They're ramming these words in through our brains time after time after time, and it's in every single source. Why are they doing it? Well, it's pretty obvious, and this last source inadvertently describes the reason for the subterfuge. In characterizing Antifa's methods, they describe it as, quote, extraordinary, radical, and in some cases, violent and illegal means. So there it is. It has to be decentralized. It has to be a lone wolf. It has to be leaderless, because the politicians, the police, the activists, and all of the other enablers know that if violent and illegal means are happening, then anyone caught helping, organizing, and funding them should go to jail. And none of these people want to go to jail. They'll use all these crazies, but they don't want to go to jail. So are they a decentralized and leaderless organization? Let me ask you this. You remember when Keith Ellison tweeted a picture of himself holding up a copy of the Antifa handbook? Now, this is an elected official in Minnesota holding this up. Wow, that's quite the commercial. But did you know that the author of that book is Mark Bray? And he's a professor at Dartmouth College. Now, he allegedly donates half of the proceeds to Antifa. Okay, all right. Okay, whatever. Except who do you write the check to? I mean, if there's no centralization, there's no leader, who do I write the check to? What bank is cashing that? Is he donating to AIR? Is he just opening up somebody who's decentralized and leaderless, come and grab this money? A decentralized movement that hosts training conferences in city like Philadelphia. But they have no apparent leader or organization. Who's planning that? Universities like CUNY in New York. They have entire courses on global Antifa. It's a 14-week course of far-left revolutionary activism at a college located smack dab in the financial epicenter of the world. But it has no recognized leader, no organization. That's bullcrap, and everyone knows it. I want to show you this was just off the cuff, okay? This is how hard it really is, okay? So let's just speculate here for a minute. Let's call it a starting point for people at the FBI or Justice Department as they begin investigating leads. For far too long, the people potentially supporting Antifa have remained in the shadows. That's what Trump is going to end. Is Antifa more than just a decentralized and leaderless organization? Well, I've split Antifa up into 3 different categories: street groups and soldiers, that one, support groups, and funding sources. But let me start right at the top with the street groups and soldiers, because this is where the politicians, the media, and the think tanks say, you know, that's the investigation. You just can investigate these guys, nothing else. Don't look here. But the groups are all over the news, going back to around 2016. Groups like Rose City Antifa Portland, Elm Fork John Brown Gun Club, Eugene Antifa Oregon, Atlanta, Pittsburgh Antifa, Refuse Fascism, Jane's Revenge. Now, you've seen the carnage of these groups all over. We continue to see it every day in places like Chicago and Portland, but this is where we're supposed to stop looking. I mean, they can't find anything because the trail goes cold there. Antifa is decentralized and leaderless. Well, if that is true, are these guys who don't work, a lot of them are on drugs, crazy, are they self-funding all of these things? Because how do we get to the next category, which is support groups? For instance, the National Lawyers Guild. This is the legal arm for Antifa. You know, if you've been in a riot or seen anything on TV, you're watching on the side, there are people standing on the side and they're wearing the green hats, okay? That's the National Lawyers Guild. They openly brag about how they provide legal support to the street soldiers. But there's no organization in that. No. Next, we have Antifa International. This one's kind of hilarious because the people who describe Antifa as decentralized and leaderless, you have an Antifa International. I mean, it's like BLM Inc. From an Antifa fundraiser, and again, who do you write the check to? They're described as, quote, an international anti-fascist collective with years of experience managing the International Anti-Fascist Defense Fund and other anti-fascist projects. So you have no central control, no base of operations or anything else, but you have years of experience managing. Really? How about Antifa International? Antifa International helped fundraise the Legal Defense Fund for the militants that attacked the ICE facility in Texas. And while we're at it, take a look at Community Justice Exchange and their National Bail Fund network. They were bailing people out during the Summer of Rage of George Floyd riots. They're probably worth looking into, specifically due to their major partner, which is, oh my gosh, the Tides Foundation, our old friends at the Tides Foundation. Look, these connections, these organizations are legion. We are legion. Yeah, that's probably what they say. Anyway, remember, as per all the politicians and media experts, no centralized organization. Okay, but you have the support groups that are supporting them with no organization. And then you have this, funding sources. Now, this is interesting. Again, who do you write to check to? This is split between nonprofits and foundations, also crowdfunding sources. Now, I already mentioned the Tides Foundation, one of the darkest of the dark left-wing radical money funnels on the planet. You know, who knows all the trails that lead back to Tides? But just for starters, let's look at these. Tides Foundation funds an organization called Alliance for Global Justice. Money from here. They refunnel money to groups like Refuse Fascism. They also give to the National Lawyers Guild, over $1 million from 2018 to 2019 alone. Are you going to write a check for $1 million to a leaderless group that has no organization at all and just say, yeah, you guys know what to do with it? Who knows what to do with it? This is how the radical left-wing money trail operates. It's designed to be opaque. It's designed to be confusing and disappear. But the connections are all there. So why haven't we done anything about it up until now? Okay, up next, who else but George Soros' Spooky Dudes Open Society Foundation. They also fund the Alliance for Global Justice. They also are with the Antifa support groups. The charitable funding sources are legion for just that one. Then you have Fidelity Investments. Where do you have your money invested? Fidelity Investments Charitable Gift Fund. They donate to the National Lawyers Guild. Also, Schwab Charitable Fund. Boy, if I had my money in Schwab, or Fidelity, I don't know if I would have it. They're giving to the people who are supporting these people. I mean, I could go on, and we haven't even gotten to the crowdfunding platforms. You have ActBlue and Patreon. You have Fundraiser, the Action Network. Then you have book sales. Book sales? Oh yeah, book sales, like the college professor that produced the Antifa handbook. Look, I'm not accusing anyone here. I'm just saying this is pretty much off the top of my head. I'm just showing the connections that have a very strong odor attached to them. And I've followed these people long enough to know this is the way it works. This one chalkboard alone is enough for the Trump administration just to start. I mean, just start. And they are. And it should be enough alone just to debunk the ridiculous notion. Just the question, who are you writing checks to? $1 million check. Who's cashing it? What bank? Where is this happening? Schwab is giving to just street kids who, what? It's ridiculous to believe that. Ridiculous. Antifa now has been designated as a terrorist organization. It is about time. And it is time to turn over all of the stones. I am proud to say that after the first of the year, we're turning over not just the little stones, we're turning over the big boulders as well. We will show you in an epic special much more on this.